Hey, folks. Sorry about that. How are you all doing? Hope we're all well. We get into the instant match reaction from a fairly weird game again to try and break down. It was going so well in one direction and a really strange game. The first half was very different for me personally. In the second half, I was very critical at halftime of the way Leeds were playing and how careless they were in possession of the ball. But I thought in the second half, we were very, very good. I thought we defended far better. I thought we were in their faces a bit more. We were on the front foot. We were taking care of the ball a little bit as well. And I was very happy with that. And it looks like everything is going our way and the ball is going to stay away from the goal. And we just start dropping and dropping and dropping. But realistically, and being very honest about it, it is a moment where everyone just switches off at the back post for a couple of seconds that leads to the equalizer. But I think going into this game, before kickoff, everybody would have said, I'll take a point. I did. I predicted a 2-2 draw. I'm disgusted with that now. Genuinely annoyed at that now. But I think we all would have taken a point at if the sound is off sync, guys, I can't do anything about that. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But yeah, what looked like before the game, we'd have all taken a point. No problem at all. As I said, guys, I can't do anything about the sync. First half, before the game, I think we all would have taken a point. Everyone would have said, yeah, we'll take a point, no problem. That's fine. Great stuff. Take a point. And then the way the game is going in the second half, you're so close to 3 that it feels like a punch in the gut the last second when the ball does find its way into the back of the net. And Mike saying awful game management for me. I think ultimately, mate, it's just 2 players don't track their players to the back post, and that's individual errors. That's not a management position or management issue. It's 2 players just switching off and not marking properly, especially at that point of the game where everything needs to be done correctly. You need to concentrate and focus, and maybe the changes were the impact. I don't know, but personally for me, I wouldn't have put it at the manager's door. I never like seeing Jack come off the bench to come on. I think it's a negative change, but it is what it is. We're not exactly flowing with loads of players in the wide positions as it is right now. So I'm going to ignore the chat for a minute because it's distracting me. People talking about stuff on the side and whatever else. It is what it is. We'll crack on, get into this, and we'll talk about the actual match because, again, as I say, prior to kickoff, a point would have been a very good result against the Bournemouth side who are flying in the league. Very well organised, good manager, good setup, good players. Have done very well considering they lost their entire backline and goalkeeper last year. Brought on some very, very good players. So, yeah, very good from that perspective. Then the game starts, and within the first 80 seconds, Leeds could be 1-0 up. And personally, any other time in the game, you're saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to do better with that strike. He's in a good area. He's a striker. He's a top striker. For me, he's got to do better with that, and he's got to score. He should score for me the first 80 seconds. But he doesn't. And then Leeds just a bit sloppy again. There's just moments in the games. And again, I'm always hypercritical, and I will be, because I don't look at a result and go, that's great. That's a point. Move on. I look at a game and I go, well, where can we improve? What do we need to keep an eye on? What areas are causing us problems? And that's dropping off as an issue sometimes for us. In the first half, we were just a bit sloppy in possession of the ball, giving it away pretty easily. Sean Longstaff has 2 very different halves for me. In the first half, he's incredibly wasteful with the ball, gives it away so much in the first half, unnecessarily so at times. And in the second half, he's on it. And whatever Farke said something to him at halftime, Farke vanished down the tunnel, ran down the tunnel at halftime, didn't look happy at all. And I didn't think the first half performance in Leeds was anywhere near good enough. But the second half was polar opposite to that way, especially the first 10 minutes of the second half. I thought we were very, very good. First 15 minutes, probably really, really good. Then you get into this kind of having to sit back, manage the game a little bit. And we did really well. And we managed to keep Bournemouth to having lots of possession, but not really doing anything with it. That mid-low block that Leeds are playing was doing really, really well. And conceding the free kick in a pretty non-dangerous area and gets clipped across the penalty area. You try and deal with the first one if you can. Everyone gets dragged across as the ball is coming. And that leaves 2 players who don't move free at the back post. And as it gets headed back across, just tap it all in. People saying Ampadu maybe played them onside. I don't necessarily know that that's the case. There's 2 players there. For me, there should be 2 Leeds players there as well, and there wasn't. So somebody wasn't doing their job, and somebody switched off. And Farke will be fuming at that. He'll be annoyed at it, but it is still a very good point. I'm not happy with lots of bits of this, but it is a very good point, and that should be said. We go through the chance in the first half. DCL in the first minute has a chance to score. Inside the first 10 minutes, I've written down Leeds nearly scored. DCL should have done better. It's mostly Bournemouth that have the ball. Leeds are sitting in the mid block, not keeping the ball well and not protecting the backline particularly well either. That kind of persisted. 16 minutes, I wrote down, we're not winning second balls. We weren't winning the first ball. We weren't winning tackles. We weren't close enough to them to put them under pressure and force mistakes. We were sitting back off them, giving them time to pass the ball around. And then we weren't winning the second balls when they did happen. Then in the 17th minute, there's a chance. Sean Longstaff's shot goes across the box. DCL sticks his toe at it. Tough one to deal with. Tries to get something on it. Doesn't. And then it runs out. Aronson follows it out and has a go at it. Then the 18th minute, there's a massive chance for me. It's Jaden Bogle cross. Aronson overhead cross into DCL, who's free in the penalty area to the point where he could take the ball down on his chest and get a strike away. He probably assumes there's somebody behind him and probably rightfully should do that. So in that situation for me, the header has to go across goal. And he doesn't. He heads it down into the ground, takes all the power out of the header, hits the turf, bounces into Petrovic's hand. That's a massive chance for me. And for me, inside 18 minutes, DCL should have 2 goals. They're 2 very good chances. A player of his caliber, I would expect him to score at least one of them, if not both of them. 25 minutes, then Bournemouth score a goal. Semenyo free kick. This is a weird one to break down because Leeds put a player behind the wall lying down, whose job is to block it. And I've watched it a couple of times since half-time. It goes under the wall, but to the part of the wall where there isn't a Leeds player. So they haven't set that wall up right at all. The ball is very central. Darlow doesn't react quick enough to it, and the ball goes in the middle of the goal and goes in. At halftime, I said Darlow should have done better. Haven't seen it back a couple of times since the second half started. It goes under the wall at pace, and they haven't blocked it. So maybe a taller player, as was said in our chat, behind the wall in future going forward. But it's a soft enough one for me. The free kick before probably shouldn't have been a free kick anyway. It was a soft free kick, but it is what it is, and it happens. Then I wrote down that passing into areas rather than players. Leeds are playing balls ahead of players to get into space, but not accurately enough and not in a good enough area. And over-hitting passes or under-hitting them, and every time being picked up by Bournemouth players. And Leeds just conceding possession voluntarily in the first half, consistently for me. And it wasn't good enough. And then I thought out of possession, we were very passive. We were standing. We weren't looking for the ball. We weren't engaging players. We weren't pressing out and getting in their faces. And I wasn't happy at 30 minutes. I'm pretty annoyed. At 30 minutes, I wrote down my initial thoughts of the first half. Casual passing, static, no second ball winning, poor in possession, not aggressive enough out of possession. And then we score. 37-minute Leeds got a goal. Sean Longstaff corner to the back post is headed by Joe Rodon. A goal from a corner and an assist for Sean Longstaff. He'll probably get man the match from a goal and an assist. But first half for me, he wasn't good enough at all. Second half, very good. Very, very good. So he has the shot across the goal. Joe Rodon wins the header. For me, Petrovic should do an awful lot better. It's a poor attempt by the goalkeeper, and it goes in the back of the net, 1-1. And then 48th minute, a blind pass by Sean Longstaff. Leeds coming out from the back, and Sean Longstaff puts a blind ball out when he's got a player to his right-hand side to pass it to. He doesn't. He clips it where he can't see it. Bournemouth pick up the ball, break forward, and have a shot on target with no one contesting the ball. That kind of stuff for me was everywhere in the first half. Not just Longstaff, everywhere in the first half. So a lot of work was needed in the second half. Leeds needed to get closer to them off the ball. They needed to show for the ball an awful lot more when we had it. They need to be tidier in possession and keep the ball. Daniel Farke talked an awful lot about decision-making and knowing when to keep possession and knowing when to go forward and take chances. I didn't see that from Leeds in the first half. I saw Leeds giving the ball away an awful lot. Second half, it's good. It's good. Very early on, Leeds have a chance again, but overall, for the second half, first half all up, I wrote down, not tidy enough in possession. The movement off the ball needs to be better, and there's not much going on off the ball. Leeds need to be quicker in possession when they get it to move the ball into space. They did that a bit in the second half, and the low mid block wasn't stopping attacks. It was just giving them possession at that point. Lazy passes, and we should have had 2 goals in the first half from DCL outside of the goal we did get from Joe Rodon. Then the second half, I say, happens. 47th minute, we get a chance straight away as a shot after a really good pressure from Leeds United. 52nd minute, Noah Okafor has a chance. He shoots it. His shot is blocked. Then Aronson's shot goes wide, but Leeds are building at that point. And in that first 10 minutes of the second half, Leeds are on the front foot. Leeds are pushing forward. Leeds are at them. Leeds are doing all the right things there, and it's going well. 53 minutes then, Gabby Goodmunson, excellent again. I'll go through the players individually in a second, but excellent again for me was Goodmunson. Really, really, really good. And he goes down the left-hand side, does really well to keep the ball, pulls it back. Okafor has a shot. It's blocked. It breaks to Brendan Aronson. He smashes the ball. It's blocked again. And then Sean Longstaff slices across the ball at the outside of his right foot, bends it away from the keeper, cracks off the post, shoots across the goal into the side net on the far side. Lovely goal. Gives the Leeds a 2-1 win. And then the decision is, what do Leeds do at that point? It's 53 minutes. Are Leeds going to drop now and try and hold the lead? Or are Leeds going to stay on the front foot and try and keep doing what they've been doing really well for 10 minutes of the first half? And they probably did for a little bit. 69 minutes, we get a chance from Jack Harrison. Leeds move forward. Harrison wins the ball back. Doesn't have an awful lot going on. Has a shot himself. Smashes it. It's a good save by Petrovic. And then 92nd minute, we concede. But in the spell between the 69th, 70th minute and the 92nd minute, we drop back. We did that against Fulham as well when they scored. And it happened again. Now, again, I don't think it's a tactical issue here necessarily. If the players are switched on and they're marking like they should be, the goal doesn't happen. They're not, and it does. But Leeds do sit back, and they invite a lot of pressure on, but they defended it really, really well. They dealt with everything they had to deal with. There was no major worries there. The last 5 minutes, maybe a little bit, but outside of that, Leeds dealt with whatever Bournemouth were throwing at them. And Leeds looked comfortable enough defending. I was happy enough with how we were defending. I thought when we did get the ball, we were keeping it really well in the second half. I thought the passing was far smarter. At times when we needed to go back, we went back. When we needed to recycle the ball, we recycled it. In transitions going forward, we got bodies up forward to help out when we did. Sometimes going forward, we were a bit loose with the ball. Didn't slip it into areas when we should have quick enough. That's been there for a couple of weeks now. That's likely just due to games. That'll probably tidy itself up over time. But yeah, just sitting back. And then the 92nd minute, free kick from the left, goes across, headed back across goal, no on the back post, marking, goal, which is gutting. It's absolutely gutting. It hurts because that could have been 3 points for Leeds and it could have put us, 7th in the table? But instead we have to end up, I'll change the overlay to give you the league table. So let's just stick the league table on the right-hand side there now. There you go. There's the league table there now. So Leeds sitting in 11th position, but not a bad performance by Leeds by any stretch of the imagination. But the first half, I think Daniel Farke won't be happy with. I think he'll want improvements. I thought he saw that in the second half for a good chunk of it, but just to finish the job. And again, I say we all would have taken a point at the start of the game. So I'm trying not to complain about a point against Bournemouth. It's a good point, but it could have been 3 if people just kept switched on and did their jobs and concentrated for 90 minutes, 96 minutes, not 91 and a half, 92 minutes. And that's where I am with that. Let me know your man of the matches in the chat as well. I'd love to know who you think was the standout player for me. I'll go through them and I'll give you my scores. My scores improved drastically from halftime. There was nobody above a 7 at halftime, and even at that, there was only 2 players on that. But Carl Darlow, 6 for me in goal. Did what he had to do, caught a couple of balls. Didn't like the free kick. Thought the wall should have been organised better. If they're going to put somebody behind it, get somebody who can fill the wall behind it. Keeper needs to organise that. That's his job. Gets a 6 for me. Bogle, 7. Very good second half. Didn't have a lot in the first half, more so because of how we were playing. But very solid second half by Jayden Bogle. Gabby Goodmunson, I thought was excellent. 7.5, 8 easily for me. Thought it was really, really good. Gabby was excellent going forward. Easily give him man the match. I would have given him man the match last week as well. Joe Rodon, 7.5. Very, very good. Centre back as well. Scores a goal. Probably should be an 8 for his goal. Gets a goal in the Premier League, which I'm delighted for him. But again, very, very good from Joe Rodon throughout the game. Pascal Struijk, I'm going to say this again. And I'm going to do something on this during the international break. In the first half, Pascal Struijk, again, got dragged way out of position. Or was the second half? Dragged way out of position, and a ball was played straight into the area that he'd left. Teams are starting to target that. He is moving and wandering out of position far too often. And it's one thing out of his entire game, which has been so good this season. He's a lovely footballer. He passes the ball well. He's good in the tackle. Good header of the ball. Generally reads the game quite well. But marks too tight too often for me and can get dragged out of position. I'll do some stuff on it during the international break. I'll have a look at all the games back and I'll pull some clips together. I'm going to have a look at that during a breakdown. But yeah, for me, 7 for Pascal. Outside of that incident, he's going to get caught doing it. I don't like saying it about him because I do love him and I really like him as a player. But he is getting dragged out of position. He is marking players too tightly and getting rolled too easily. He's getting away with it right now, but he won't get away with that against everybody. And they need to address that before it costs us. So that's but it's the only part of his game. That's it. Outside of that, I'm very happy with him. But that's a worry for me and needs to be addressed. Anton Stack, good solid 7.5. Thought he was decent. Did all the things he's supposed to do. Wasn't in as an advanced area as he has been in previous games. But that was okay. First half, the midfield was all over the place. Second half, they tightened it up and got it sorted. So no issues there for me. Ethan Ampadu, 7.5, 8 again for me out of 10. Good player. You could argue man the match between him and Goodmunson for me, outside of goals and assists. I don't look at a goal and assist and go man the match. Sky do that. Goals win games. I look at a performance. So, but yeah, Ampadu, and maybe he loses a half a point for the goal at the end. Should he be marking closer than he is? Is he ball watching a little bit? But outside that, he had a very good game. Very, very good second half for me. Sean Longstaff went from a 5 at half time for me to a 7.7 by full time. Brendan Aronson, a solid 7.5, 8 again. Brendan Aronson won't get a lot of plaudits, but I thought he worked incredibly hard again today. But I thought he was really good for Leeds. He came back more often than not on won balls. He blocked crosses. He won possession for Leeds back. He took possession, pressure off Leeds when he was given the ball at times. I thought he was very, very good. It's all the stuff that we talk about. We don't have creativity. He's not a creative winger. So I can't really put that on him and say, well, I want to see this from you. That's not his game. What he's in there to do is the more defensive wide stuff. And he did it really well again today. I thought he was very, very good. No, Okafor quite enough in the game, but we didn't exactly give him the ball. We didn't play to him. We didn't play through him. Second half, he does pretty well in moments, and he is dangerous. And he does have a go at people, but we need to give the ball to him an awful lot more often for me. Then you've got DCL up top, 7 out of 10. Held the ball up when he had to, won a few headers, isolated again like Wolves. And this is going to be a pattern by looks for the season. Leeds are not going to go and have a go at people. They're going to sit back, which means DCL is going to be isolated. So, yeah, a lot of people not happy with the changes. Jack Harrison comes on. I thought he was okay, but he's not a threat going forward, really. He has one shot. Outside of that, Tanaka comes on wide. I would have brought Dan James on. I would have brought Tanaka on in midfield. And I would have brought Dan James. Doesn't make a lot of changes. Daniel Farke's got a bench now. Now he's got Sebastian Bornau, who's not on the team. He's got Jacobial sitting on the bench. This is Daniel Farke's side now. So this is not 2 years ago where Farke can complain about the bench. That's a good bench. He needs to use it because if fresher players are on earlier, maybe that equalizer doesn't happen. You know, but it's flogging players, and he's been guilty of doing this before. He should have made more changes for me. I would have brought Tanaka on far earlier in midfield to add more energy in there and a bit more quality in retaining possession. I'd have brought Dan James on for Brendan Aronson. Probably when he brought Tanaka on for him, from a counter-attacking perspective only, a chance to break and get in behind them. But he doesn't do that. He brings Tanaka on the right side. It's a square peg in a round hole. And they start coming down the left-hand side. Aronson goes off, and all of a sudden they get Joy down the left-hand side of the park. And I mean, if that doesn't say that he was doing a decent job, Aronson, I don't know what does. But it's a funny one. For me, I would have taken a point before kickoff. Happily would have taken a point before kickoff. After that, the last 5 minutes, I was enjoying it. We were having a laugh in the watch along over in Big Up. We were having a bit of a giggle and a laugh. And then whatever you do, don't enjoy Leeds, because things like that will happen. We'll go through the stats as well, and then we'll have a quick chat with I'll look into your comments as well and see what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Try and be as constructive as you can be, and we'll stick them up on screen and we'll have a quick chat about them before we wrap up today. But statistics-wise, you can see them on screen there. I can't see them, so I got to change that. It's got to change to start with, because I can't see that. Let me put my glasses on. So, yeah, we look at this real quick. So, yeah, possession-wise, Leeds is the home side, 41% possession, so we are conceding possession. And then 59% to them. XG for Leeds, 1.7. We get a 2. It's about right. 0.9 for them says everything. 2 goals that probably shouldn't have gone in. We'll have to deal with that, unfortunately. Total shots, 12 for them, 19 for Leeds. Shots on target there. Fouls, 12, 13. Passes, 3, 4, 9 for... You can see how much possession Leeds concede when you look at the amount of passes that they had, 501. Tackles, 27 to 23. Free kicks, 13 to 12. Tyler Adams was a non-existent entity in the game. Got hit pretty hard by Ampadu a couple of times. But, yeah, we'll go through man the matches as well. Let me know what you think. And we'll see how we get on. We'll throw a few of these in. Sam is asking, can I do watch-alongs? I do watch-alongs. I do them on bigup.com every week, every game. So if you want to check me out, you can check me on over there. I'm not doing it on YouTube. There's too many people doing it on YouTube, so I do it over there instead. But we'll get a couple of the comments up on screen while we're having a chat. Andrew, and this, good point nonsense. Come on, lads. This is a small club thinking. I'm said, and I never said that. So let's be really clear on that, Andrew, before we start throwing shade around the place. What I said was, before the game, I'd have happily taken a point from this game. They're fourth in the table. They're very good. Who do we think we are getting promoted to the Premier League and being able to demand 3 points against a top 4 side? You got to earn it. And I thought in the first half, we didn't deserve it. I thought they were a better side than us in the first half. I thought we were really poor in the first half. Second half, we were far better. We got the lead. I would have liked us to hang on to it. Graham Potter. That says everything I want to hear there, mate. So we're going to move on from that. I'm not going to engage with that. Jesus Christ. 2 clubs has been a disaster. Absolute. Where West Ham in the league? Where's West Ham? Nonsense. Let's have a quick chat. Nigel, for me, man, the match is Longstaff and Goodmanson. JD is saying, hi, Jared, disappointed after that game, but would have settled for a draw before the game. That's the point. Before the game, we'd have all taken it. After the game, we wanted 3 points. But not the worst result in the world. Great game from Longstaff, man. The match, I tell you, crap first half, but second half, I thought it was brilliant. Came from behind to go ahead. Shame we couldn't see it out. Daniel Farke has to use the bench better. I would agree with that. He's stubborn. The way this could bite him on the backside, still back him 100%. Yeah, you can criticize a manager looking for him to be sacked every week. We're in the Premier League in our first year. We're 11 in the table. I'm sure you can sack a manager for that. Jacob, poor sub, dropped off, lost concentration. We did agree right at the end. I thought we were brilliant for the most part today, but we need to start closing out games. I'd say watch the first half again in isolation. I didn't think we were good at all. Second half, I agree with you, 100%. Brandinho, man, the match. Disappointed to drop points so late against Fulham. I would agree with you on that. Nobody's agreeing on Potter. I would. The facts say you can't. They'll sleep tonight. Farke cost us the match. Paul saying Ethan Ampadu started slow. Passes were wayward first. Then he came back into it. But as the match went on, he's a cracking player. Yep, he was very good. First half, I agree. Second half, very, very good. Chalk up to missed chances. We got to get more clinical when we get these chances. And I mean it. DCL's header and that first chance in the first 80 seconds, they got to go in the back of the net, especially from a player of his caliber. And that's the point for me on that, of his caliber. Chris says, think it's a good sign that we're disappointed with the result. Yeah, probably is. Probably is. Could have easily been 3 points, but more than competitive for the league. MH saying, heads up, everybody. We played well. Well, we were unlucky at the end, but we have done that enough to other teams. Good point against a good side. I don't think the subs are poor, just rusty, but they're not getting enough game time. To be fair, I missed the first half hour. You missed a really bad game of football from a Leeds perspective, Jacob. But yeah, second half, very good, mate. Very good. Feels like a loss deserved. It always does. Always does in that situation. As I said earlier, I'd be happily finished in 17th. I'd have taken 17th at the start of the season. Happily. Anything above that's a bonus for me in the first season. Then go sign some attackers. Especially out. Yeah, needs to be on the pitch earlier for me. Wayne saying, couldn't see why Farke tried to close the game out so early. Did the same against Fulham. The drop-off is happening way too early. Way too early for me. Especially when you're doing well in the front foot. If it's going well, don't change it. Last 15 minutes, absolutely drop in. No problem. What is it with Leeds going to sleep in injury time? Yep. You don't play for 90 minutes. You play for 96, 97, 98, whatever you have to. Stay tuned in. Honestly, if we had conceded with Aronson on the field, we'd have been saying, why didn't Farke use his sub for Tanaka? It's not a like-for-like change for me, Tanaka, for Aronson. GG looks good. 10 million bargain. Yeah, he's been brilliant. No, I'm not getting to the Potter conversation. It's absolutely redundant. We were 6th at 80 minutes. Yep, we were. DCL looks gassed walking on the pitch. Yeah, and he needs to, though. I think that's why he's leading him on the pitch as long as he is. He needs to get him up to that 90-minute mark as quick as he can. But what they also need to do with him is support him an awful lot more. An awful lot more. Get bodies around him. Push on. Are we still having a conversation about Marcelo Bielsa in 2025? Yeah, support him an awful lot more. Get bodies around him. Don't just lump balls up to him. He's flicking them onto himself. Against Wolves and again tonight, way too isolated. Tanaka is returning from injury. OFC, he'll need a while. The OFC is. Of course, he'll need time. Of course, he will. But he needs games to get up to that speed. No point bringing him on for a couple of minutes. Les Boydell still thinks stroke too negative and looks nervous on the ball. Panics a bit. He does a little bit. A long aimless pass up the pitch. Well, he wasn't the only one guilty of that. Second half, he was picking spots out. Matt says, hey, Matt. I thought Aronson was brilliant. Gutted. But proud DCL should have scored one of them. Tanaka took too long on the ball, and then we can see these are fine margins, which cause in the Premier League you don't get away with them, Matt. William saying almost a dream weekend with Scum losing. Think we got to convert a high percent of chances in this division to think that we're a point from Fulham, and 3 today would have had us. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Okafor getting better every game. Just needs more ball. Again, same as DCL. There's no point in buying these kind of players and not giving them service and not backing them up when they've got it. So needs more time, of course. Absolutely, yeah. We've lost 5 points after 90 minutes, and that is something the manager has to look at because that's game management, and that is a manager situation. 100% it is. It's not just about Leeds dropping back. Bournemouth, we're pushing. Yeah, but the same was said against Wolves. But if you drop back, they're going to press forward. If you give them space, they're going to fill it. The point of pressing slightly higher. I'm not talking about going gung-ho. I'm talking about pressing them higher up the field. When they cross the halfway line, just engage them, force a mistake. You have to win the ball, but get in their face. They don't have time to pick passes. If you drop off, they'll push into that space that you leave. And that's the point for me. Rajiv saying, Eden Jer, gutted with the result, but proud of our display today. We ran and outworked them by 5 kilometers. Even Ariola acknowledged it, how you feel confident about us. Yeah, I'm happy enough with how we're doing. Andrew saying, few decent games next. Spurs haven't missed one. Yeah, well, I think Spurs is a really tough game. That's why I would have taken the points in this one. If we get a point against Spurs, it's a great result for me. Bye and hello. Hello. And goodbye, Pierre. Tyler Adams, yep. Yeah. What did he do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing except get creamed by Stack and by Ampadu. And this is not a flex, mate. You're dealing with a newly promoted side, by the way. Good lad. DCL looking better game by game. Yeah, he is. I agree with Rajiv's statement. Yeah, I agree with him as well. Sitting in at 65 minutes is killing us. Yep, I agree with that. The last 2 games against Fulham as well. Needs to stop. Stripper saying we can't Farka the bus. We're trying to Farka the bus. Not convinced on this. Hang on to what you have. This is Farka's strategy. Arguably 3 points in 2 games now. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Farka took Okafor off when he was getting into the game. Same against Wolves. I saw Leeds defending in the Bournemouth box. That is the way it should be. I agree. Harrison first up will always be, and not always the right one for me. A sickener in the end, but still a good point. If you're going to park the bus, then use a bus. That's true. Right, loads more comments there. Why didn't we bring fresh legs in? That's a great point. Great point. Jacob saying Tyler Adams was booed every time he had the ball. Yeah, well, you shouldn't say what you said about this club, and you shouldn't try and sue the football club, And that is what it is. I want to see Willie say it, Jer. I dare you. I want to see Willie. And I want to see him on the park. That's what I want to see. Folks, we'll wrap it up there. But yeah, look, come here. End of the day, it's another point forward for Leeds. It's like not exactly what we wanted to see towards the end of the game. I don't think anybody going into this game and the Spurs game, if you looked at both of those games and thought 2 points from those 2 games would be decent at this point of the season. I'm playing we didn't have the ball much. You're nailed on. We didn't. Dave, no one's moaning, mate. No one's moaning. If you listen to the stream, no one's moaning. So, open these. 2 of these, 1 of these. But yeah, there you go, folks. We would have taken a point before the game. We would have loved 3 points by the end of the game. You go to sleep for a couple of minutes in this division, you're going to get punished. But the next 2 games, I would have happily taken a point in each of the next 2 games. This game and the next game. You got a point today. We go into Spurs at home again. Hopefully we can nick a point in that game as well. And then it's 2 decent points going into the international break. So for me, all very good. First half wasn't good enough. Second half was much, much, much better by Leeds. But let's stop the drop-off so early, yeah? Let's not blindly just look at a scoreline and go, that's great. There are issues there that need to be looked at, need to be dealt with. Pascal Stroud needs to stop getting rolled and stop going for wandering, and Leeds need to stop dropping back on 70 minutes. And they've got to look after the ball a little bit better in this division. They get that right, and they will. I have no doubt that they'll get up to speed, no problem. In the meantime, it's important to pick up points, and they are picking up points. So right now, as we've already said, league table is there. You can have a quick look at it again. Leeds United sitting in 11th place in the table. If we look at it versus the bottom sides, Leeds now, and I'm going to keep counting gaps. Aston Villa on 3 points. Leeds United on 8. Bottom 3 have still to play. West Ham playing Monday night with a new manager, and Graham Potter was sacked because they're second from bottom of the table. And he's gone. So yeah, Leeds 8 points ahead of Wolves right now, which is a really good place to be. I'm going to keep watching those bottom 3 sides. I know not everyone likes talking about it, but I am going to keep talking about it until mathematically Leeds United are safe in the Premier League, because the last year we were in the Premier League, the opta fact was 8 points in your first 5 games, you stay up. Leeds didn't. So until we get to the end of it, I'm sitting on this. So yeah, right now it's good. We're in a good place. This was not an easy start to the season. It was a very tough start to the season, and we're in a really good spell. Get through Spurs, we come out of that, and then you've got Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, Forest, Villa. That's not a bad block of games either. So winnable games there as well if we continue to go the way we are. I'd like to see a bit more belief in the side. I think we've got good players. I think we probably are still playing within ourselves a little bit, and I'd like to see more from Leeds moving forward. I think it's there. I'd like to see a little bit more, because when they do play, they don't look out with their depth at all in this division. More of that, please. We'll leave it there, folks. Massive thanks, as always, for supporting the channel. I will be back on Monday morning for more Leeds news. If you're a member of the channel, the Sunday sessions will be out tomorrow, the video version. If you're not a member, you can get it on Spotify and all the other audio podcast formats, except for iTunes, because it's not working. Outside of that, everything else is working fine. And if you want to see watch-alongs, we do watch-alongs over on bigup.com, the Leeds View. You can find us there. We do 21s. We also do first team games, and we also do some tactical breakdowns there as well. Different content over there. If you want to go check that out, you're more than welcome. Outside of that, folks, I'll be back on Monday morning for the Leeds news. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Chins up, I suppose. It's a point against a good side, and we move forward. That's all we can do. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon. See ya.